Hey, welcome back to my channel. So let's talk about the recent events, in this last week with the elections and all that it means for all of us, okay? It's been a time of intense emotions, highs and lows, and a sense of craziness that we're living through, right? Like it was a historical moment in the last 1 week, and depending on where you are standing, it's either you've experienced a week of feeling so much hope and faith in humanity. Or if you're on another side, now the side that did not win, you might be feeling frustration and even maybe despair because of a fear of what awaits you in the future. And I'm going to be addressing these two groups of people. We all know, or I'll say I know that the US elections does affect the rest of the world in some way or form, whether we want to admit to it or not, it does affect us. So I want to address all those emotions that have been coming up. And what I find interesting is how diverse people's opinions and people's perspectives are about this particular event. Because I've been having conversations with a couple of my friends, and I realized we are, and I know I've said this before on my channel, but we're not living in the same reality. The way that I see the world is not the way the people around me see the world. People I've talked to see the world, they're seeing something completely different. And again, I'm going to be talking about that. So, hey, if you're new to my channel, my name is Eva. I'm an intuitive healer, energetic healer. I do work with two modalities or certified in two modalities. One which is based on working with the Akashic records. It's called soul realignment. And the second one is called quantum flow, which is all about rewiring of your nervous system and releasing any blockages that might be impacting your well-being in your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being. So if you're curious about these two modalities, I'm going to be sharing how these two modalities can actually impact and accelerate your own growth, your own transformation, your own evolution, and also help you to release all those stories that have kept you stuck, that have kept you in a limited capacity for such a long time. So if you're ready to release all those patterns that have been repeating over and over again, that don't really support your highest well-being, I can share more on how these two beautiful, beautiful practices can have a huge impact on your healing journey. But I'm going to be sharing that at the end of this video, okay? So I always start my videos by sharing my lesson for the week. My best lesson, which I'm going to be diving deep into with this particular video, is that absolutely no one has power over you. And I know a lot of people are struggling with this, again, depending on where you are standing, with view of what happened with the elections. And no one has power over you. At the end of it all, whatever journey you're here to experience, it all depends on you. Okay. I know I spoke about the savior mentality because there's also one aspect where people are just putting so much expectation and so much hope on just one person. And I'm like, my thinking is that, and this is something that I've really had to work hard on myself. Like, no one outside of you can save you from the pain and the of your existence. You're gonna have to do the work. You're gonna have to get off your couch, get off your whatever it is, and actually get down and work on yourself to release that sense of hopelessness, that sense of pain, or whatever it is of suffering, inner suffering that you might be experiencing. So if you're pinning that on just one person who's external of you, my idea will be that I don't know. I'm going to be sharing more on this, right? So, my lesson for the week was just that. Just no one has that kind of power. And also, on this other side, where people are thinking that their freedoms are going to be impacted, based on the policies that are going to be passed. Again, it always comes back to you. We are not existing in the same realities. You know that, right? And sometimes it might look selfish, but whenever you see these events happening in the world, I want you to now start bringing awareness and bringing and practicing, yeah, to bring it back to the relationship itself. Because you really need to determine, is this whatever I'm seeing on media and all of that, is this directly affecting me right now in this current moment? Because for most people, the answer will be no. If they actually don't affect you, but you get so caught up in the news, in the emotions, and the fear, in the hopelessness, in the anger, in all of that. And in actual reality, it does not affect your current existence. And if you're not careful, you're going to distract yourself from what you came here to experience as a soul having a human experience always just because you're so concerned with with happening outside of you. And when you're on your healing journey, one of the most important lessons I've had to learn was that you gotta shut the outside world down because you've been so involved in that. And guess what? What was the result of that? It's where you currently are, feeling stuck, feeling hopelessness, feeling disconnected from yourself, not knowing who you are, feeling emotional and mental angst all the time. That is the result of you being too much involved on the outside world and not focusing on your internal world. So always been whatever is happening in the external world, really bring it back to yourself and really determine, does this feel true to me? Do I want to live in a reality where I'm constantly fearful and despair and feeling despair and all of that? Because if that's not the case, then stop paying attention to that. Stop giving in to the fear. And what I see is that, and we've lived in this world for such a long time, but there is such a negative narrative that's always being pushed all over. Everywhere you look, you'll only see, if that's what you're paying attention to, you'll only see negativity all around you based on people's opinions and all of that, the chaos that's on media and all of that. And if you're not careful, if you don't have inner mastery, it's very easy to get sucked into that. So again, and I know I've said this time and time again, really come back to yourself. If it's affecting you too much and it's affecting your well-being, stop paying attention until you can gain that inner mastery yourself and be able to look at those events from a neutral perspective. Don't engage. That will be my advice to you, okay? And that's the lesson that I'm learning to embody right now. Absolutely no one has power over your path. You have free will to experience whatever reality you want to live in. So you choose if you want to live in a reality where you're constantly waking up feeling anxious and stressed and all of that, or you want to actually wake up every day and just have that inner state of peace, of calmness, of bliss, which is actually possible, okay? Okay, so back to the recent events and all of that, and just being on the outside. I'm not in the US, so wasn't, directly involved in that. But of course, you're seeing all the stories that are coming up on media. And what I find really sad about all of this is the fact that people are even breaking up relationships just based on diverse views, diverse opinions, right? Like, I believe in this candidate for this reason, and this other person believes in this candidate for whatever reason. And because this attachment to those belief systems, it ends up impacting your relationships. I'm seeing people saying they're never going to talk to their family again because they voted the other side. I'm seeing people saying that they're done with some of their friends because they decided to vote for a candidate that was not favorable to them. Relationships are broken up, and probably even relationships that they've had for years, for decades even, and you're choosing to walk away over just a difference of opinion. And think about it. We've done this as humanity over and over and over again. Like, it's the same freaking cycle, right? Whether you're from this millennium or the previous millennium, whatever, it's been the same story playing out where it was always that side versus that side and all of that. And always the division within us. Again, and it's all based on belief system. Okay, so my question to you will be, why do you need other people to believe in what you believe in? Because that's something you really need to get to the root cause of. Why do you need the people around you to believe in what you believe in? Can you learn to coexist with people, even if they have diverse views? Just respect each other's opinion, not needing another person to believe you in a sense that it now actually impacts your well-being or your day-to-day operations. Because if that's the case, then that means you're putting so much power into someone else's hands. And that's not how it's supposed to be. Can we live in a world where I can believe in whatever I believe in and you can believe in whatever you believe, and we still find a way to coexist with each other? Just respecting each other's opinions, of course, respecting each other's boundaries, because what most people want to do is that they want to impose their belief system on other people. And this is what has led to so many wars, has led to so much chaos, has led to people fighting and all of that, and the division and the hatred between us, because everyone wants, we've convinced ourselves that only our path is the right path and no other path should matter. So anyone else who goes against that path we believe to be true is wrong. And we're going to attack, we're going to do whatever kind of things to them just to make sure that they conform to this path that we believe to be true. And that's not how it's supposed to be. If you were meant to live in one reality, and one path, all of us to walk one path, then all these other choices will never have been made available to us. It just, we will simply not see it. The very fact that we all exist, right? Like there are differences all over, starting from gender, from race, from country, and like cultures and all of that. We are so diverse. If it was just one reality and one path that was meant to be existent, then we will not be seeing this diversity. We were brought here to learn how to coexist with each other. Everyone, again, is on their own spiritual journey, their own path. Whatever lessons that you came to experience as a soul having a human experience, it's very individual and very unique to you. It's not always going to look like someone else's. And remember that also the way you see the world is based on your lived experiences, all the way from childhood, right? Some certain belief systems that were imprinted with you by or to you by your caregivers, or even based on your life experiences. So the way you see the world is going to always be based on that. Whether it's true or not, to be honest, you don't know. I always say this, if whatever you believe in gives you the greatest joy, the greatest love, the greatest fulfillment, then by all means follow that path, even if it doesn't make sense to other people. But if all it's giving you is just anxiety and not actually helping you advance, helping you grow and evolve in a positive kind of way, why are you holding so tightly to that belief system? If you're holding up to a belief system that just disempowers you, does not empower you in any kind of way, okay, always keeps you in suspicion of the people around you and in hate and those negative vibration emotions, why are you holding on to those beliefs? They're not serving you. But most people, just because this is what I've been taught, and remember that whatever you believe, you'll always see evidence of that on the outside reality. So that's how you keep on convincing yourself that my path is the only path that is true. But in actual reality, if you were just to take yourself away from that experience and allow yourself the opportunity to just question that belief system, you might actually be shocked to see that there are different paths that can lead you to an even greater experience for yourself. But because we're so geared to hold on to our beliefs, right, and to defend them with our lives or whatever it is, we don't give ourselves the opportunity to even try and understand where the other person is coming from. One of the best statements I've ever had, and I can't remember who said this. I know it's a quote by someone. It's seek to understand before being understood. Seek to understand the other person and where they're coming from and why they're choosing to believe in whatever they're choosing to believe in before you make them understand you. And if you can go with that philosophy, and then again, not needing another person to believe you or to support you for you to feel right and whole within yourself, that even if my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my husband has a different view from me, it doesn't affect my state of well-being. If it does, then that's the problem. And it's not about that person, it's about you. Find out, why do I get triggered whenever I hear people having different opinions or views apart from, which are opposite to mine. Why am I constantly getting triggered? That's the lesson, that's the healing, or whatever the release that you need to work on, because it's all about you. You should not get triggered. And if you can take that to all areas of our lives, right? Regardless of your belief system about the health, about religion, about career, about whatever it is, whatever path you're focused on right now, can you just learn to explore other people's paths and not immediately just write them off as being wrong just because they're different from yours? You, to be honest, you really don't know. And if you have not walked a mile in someone else's shoes, it's very easy for you to judge and be like, I will never think like that. I will never say that. But how do you know? Probably, if you've gone through the same life experiences that this other person has gone through, you'll probably be seeing the world in the same way. So can you learn to have compassion? Can you learn to just love and accept people for who they are and not let them affect your state of being? That's the lesson that I think a lot of us need to really embody, because it's chaos all over. And what I find sad is that now the ones who consider themselves, to support the candidate who ended up losing, of course they're having despair. Of course they're in fear right now because they don't know what the future holds for them, which is normal, right? I mean, we are geared to, survival through fear and all of that. But what I find sad is the people coming online just to make fun of them, make fun of their meltdowns, make fun of whatever it is and how they're choosing to cope with that existence, with that reality. Remember, they're doing it from a place of fear and a place of hopelessness. If you were in that person's shoes, would you really want another person to be laughing at you and making fun of you for that? Another question you might ask yourself. Because if you cannot or will not want someone else to do that particular act or talk about you in that certain way, why on earth would you then go and do it to another person? Right? That's my question. Why on earth would you go and do it to another person? Because if you can do it to another person, then don't do it. And you know, I hope everything that I'm saying right now is actually making sense to you, right? If you cannot, whatever act you're about to do on another person, if you cannot be able to handle it, if someone else did it to you, don't do it. Don't laugh at them. Don't make fun of them. Because in actual reality, it could have been you on the other side feeling the hopelessness and feeling the despair. Or maybe that's where you've been this entire period, the last couple of years, based on the policies that this other sides are pressing. But still, since you've experienced that, and you know the kind of hopelessness that brings in, can you have a bit of compassion to anyone who's actually going through the same thing and just let them process it in the way that feels best for them? That's what I'd say. And for the people who are feeling hopeless and in fear of what the future holds for them and their rights and all of that, again, I go back to my earlier statement: no one has power over your free will. Absolutely no one. Have you ever thought of how the ascended masters were able to get so enlightened and achieve the highest level of I want to say enlightenment possible, even with all the chaos that was happening around them? Because in actual reality, that should not have been possible. I mean, think about it. Let's go with an ascended master, Jesus, right? Born into a time where the Jews or whatever were actually enslaved, right, by the Romans at that time. And for some reason, he was actually able to reach that level of high mastery of himself and ascend and get enlightened, even with all of that that was happening, which goes to show you that regardless of your external circumstances, it has no bearing on what you can be and what you can become. It all comes back to the self. So never think that anyone, regardless of whatever policies or whatever stories they want to to pass on or make us all believe, absolutely no one has power over your free will. And if you're into spiritual matters, you understand that free will is the one thing that is super respected, especially in the reality we live in. No one ever interferes with that. Not your guides, not your not your guides, not the beings that are always the angels and all of that. They'll never interfere with your free will. They always respect you because they see you as a powerful creator in your own right. So until you actually make the choice, you know what? I wanna connect to them. I wanna ask for their help. I wanna ask for my angels and my guides to help me and all of that. They will never interfere with your experience ever. That's how much your free will is respected. And if they can't interfere, why on earth would you hold on to that belief that someone in this physical reality has that kind of power over you? You might go through the illusion that they do, but remember that if you have that connection to yourself, you can change whatever reality is on the outside for you right now. That's the kind of power that you hold with you. So remember that absolutely no one has power over you, and always come back. Whatever stories you're seeing on media, always come back to self and just ask yourself, is this actually impacting me right now? If you feel it does, then choose another reality and say, you know what? No, I'm not going to give in to that fear. And you have to constantly make that choice over and over again. I don't care how many times. Anytime you see something that triggers you, just remind yourself that you have power to change that. So say, you know what? I simply don't choose that reality. I'm just not going to play that game, period. And if a lot of us were actually doing that, do you know it will be game over for so many of these stories we're seeing here? Because what this side, or I want to say the negative vibrations thrive on, is that sense of despair and hopelessness and fear, that is what feeds that vibration and the negativity to keep going and going and going. So they're constantly creating stories and narratives to keep us in that state, which is very disempowering. And if you make that conscious choice to not give into the fear, because you do have that power, guess what? They lose the whatever hold they actually have on you, okay? So that's one thing I'd say. The second thing is that remember that you don't know what you don't know. You have no way of knowing what the future holds. Right now, you might be thinking that I don't know what kind of policies this person is going to pass. I don't know what kind of country I'm going to live in based on whatever policies are going to be passed and all of that. And you might be constantly having those thoughts and those feelings and those emotions of I'm so fearful of what the future holds, but the future has not been created yet. That's the beauty of it. You're creating your future based on your now moment. This present moment that you're watching me, you're creating your future from the now moment. So again, you have a choice. What kind of reality do I want to live in? Okay. So if you don't want to feel the fear and the angst and anxiety and the stress that might happen or you think you might experience depending on whatever measures they take over or they create, then don't choose that. It's that simple. Just don't choose that reality. The more you think about it, the more you're constantly talking about it, talking about that fear, you're feeding that reality. And guess what? Eventually you are going to manifest it into your current reality. It's going to affect your well-being. But if you have awareness of your now moment, keep coming back to the now moment and asking yourself, is it affecting me right now? If it's not, let it go. It's all happening in your mind. We create so much fear in our mind that never even comes to pass. Okay? All of it is happening in the mind. So realize that you have power to change in the now moment. So you don't have to choose that reality if that's not what you want to experience. That's the power, that's the control you have. Okay, let me see if there's any other point I wanted to give in. So the third point I wanted to share was that true freedom, and I mentioned this with the whole how the people became enlightened regardless of what was happening in the external world. True freedom is actually experienced from within. It's a state of being. Okay. So it's not something that someone gives to you. It's something you experience within you. So, regardless of whatever is happening around you, no one can touch your freedom as long as you're feeling free within. No one can impact whatever is in your mind. This is your power. Whatever runs across this in the middle of your mind, that's your seat of power. And you have so much control over. And if you can get yourself free here, free from all the negativity, free from all the negative vibration emotions, guess what? It does not matter what happens in the external world. It will never affect you. This, this is the amount of control you have. So don't worry so much about the external reality. Again, your external reality is always a reflection of who you are on the inside. You have to constantly remind yourself of that, okay? So bring yourself into balance within yourself and watch your external reality. It has to change to match who you are on the inside, okay? So I am going to end this right now. I don't even know why this thing is reacting. That's so weird. Um, sorry about that. Anyways, just remember that, okay? I want to hear your thoughts on this. How have the elections been for you? You know, what kind of emotions, what kind of feelings, what is coming up for you? You know, share down below and let's see if us as a community, how can we assist you to get through these emotions, right? What lessons are you tapping into? I'd love to hear from you. So make sure you share in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. And also let me know what kind of thoughts and what kind of things that you actually want to hear me talk about, okay? And again, please subscribe to my channel and also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any kind of content I upload. I don't want you to miss out on anything that I share here, okay? So I always end my videos by sharing how I can actually help you tap into your seat of power. You know, if you're struggling with constant emotional and mental breakdown based on everything that's happening in the external world, do you know it's actually possible to maintain an inner state of calmness, of bliss and peace, of Unfuck with ability, based on the words of Vishen Lakiani, regardless of whatever is happening in the external world, you can actually maintain that sense of inner balance regardless of what's going on around you. And here's how I do it on my own. So I'm going to be sharing with you. Let me just. So, soul realignment is all about. Let me just make sure this thing is recording. I'm going to stop the share for a bit. Okay, it is recording. So let me share the screen again. So one of the modalities I work with is called soul alignment, which is a spiritual healing modality that is based on actually working with Akashic records. Okay, so I will be reading your Akashic records, and it's basically to help you determine your true divine nature, your soul level gifts, and your soul level. Basically, how you can leverage these gifts to create your human experience. So all of us are actually created with a unique code, with a unique blueprint of how we're supposed to exist in our physical reality. And the more and more we make choices or take actions aligned to that particular blueprint, aligned to that particular coding, the more we're able to create more of what we want in life. But the minute we make choices that go against that, that's how basically we create negative karma. Most people think that negative karma is created when you do bad things to other people, but it's actually very subjective to each of us, okay? So remember that a negative choice that creates negative karma for me might not be the same negative choice that creates negative karma for yourself. So it's very unique. It's very individual to who you are at a soul level, okay? And in soul relevant reading, we're actually getting to what that is, who you actually are, and helping you identify that particular original soul blueprint that you were created to be. So remember that you did receive this code when your soul was initially created, right? And then you started incarnating, and that started making negative choices. And those negative choices are actually affecting who you are right now. All of your life experiences, any kind of people, any kind of whatever experiences you've had in this reality, remember that a lot of it is actually because of the negative choices that you made in your past life that got imprinted within your blueprint. And you keep on attracting those circumstances because they are a match to your blueprint, right? You keep on creating the same circumstances. Again, never to punish you, but in an attempt for your soul to release those memories, those patterns from the blueprint, okay? So it's so relevant to actually get into the root cause of what the current present life experiences that you're having right now are, getting to the root cause, making you aware of where you're currently repeating the same mistakes, making the same choices again. And once you have that awareness and you start making different choices, guess what? You get to heal your blueprint. You get to release this negative karma. And now you're getting more and more access to your true creative abilities. Without the true creative abilities, you'll always be creating dysfunction in your life. So with soul realignment, it's actually giving you practical, useful information that does have transformational value. So remember, we're living in a crazy informational age where everywhere you look, it's someone trying to teach you, including me, teach you something. With soul alignment, it's actually bringing that information to a very concise way that actually impacts your current transformational experience. Okay. So once you have awareness of who you are, and you start making choices based on who you are, guess what? You're going to start seeing your life getting impacted in a positive way. The more and more choices you make aligned to who you are. The most important thing that I always tell my clients is that you do have free will and choice, okay? So, first of all, it's taking responsibility for the life you've created thus far. Remember that everything you've experienced in your current reality, it's you who created based on your life choices, okay? And once you take responsibility for that, the beauty of that is that once you are aware of what those choices are, then now you're empowered to say no when you need to say no, to say yes when you need to say yes, because now you know and you're fully grounded into who you actually are. Okay. You also get a soul level healing through the Akashic records. With the Akashic records, I will be setting the intention to clear out all these negative karmic patterns within your energetic blueprint. So you're going to heal energetically, but now at the physical level, remember that you now have the personal responsibility to now make different choices or take different actions that do not lead to the recurrence of these negative patterns again. So again, it's healing through awareness because no healer actually heals you. A true healer helps you to heal yourself, which is what you will be doing with the soul element reading. So who is the soul element reading for? Okay, hold up. If you're feeling stuck in repetitive negative patterns, like for example, you feel yourself going through the same set of circumstances in your finances, in your relationship, or your health, there's a reason for that. And soul element can actually help you get to the root cause of what those reasons are so that you release them. Okay. If you're struggling with self-identity and feeling disconnected from your true purpose, soul element can really help with that and really connect you to your true self and your true nature. If you're experiencing constant roadblocks and challenges and you have no idea why this keeps happening, solar element can help you get to the root cause of it. If you have difficulty understanding why certain relationships or situations seem to repeat over and over and over again for you, solar element can help you get to the root cause and help you release those energetic patterns so that you stop attracting those people over and over again. Okay. If you're sensing that past trauma or unexplained fears are influencing your present life, if you're lacking clarity of what career choices, or life direction you need to take, with Soul Element, by getting in touch with how you were designed to create in this reality, it can help you gain some clarity on what new choices you can make going forward. Okay. Again, if you're feeling trapped in limiting beliefs and recurrent self-sabotaging behaviors, or even if you have a deep desire for emotional healing and freedom, from the burdens of your past experiences, okay? So Realement will be a great start for you. Okay, the second modality I work with is called quantum flow. So quantum flow is a beautiful technology. I'll call it a technology because it actually is, but it's a technology of the body. It incorporates breathwork, sound, and movement to just help you rewire your nervous system, okay, and restore balance to your body and your mind. So actually, helping you release the deep-seated trauma and emotional blockages that have been keeping you stuck for a long time. So what most people don't know is that a lot of our unconscious beliefs and our conscious patterns are always, first of all, recorded within your conscious mind or your subconscious mind. And those patterns are constantly creating your physical reality. So sometimes you're experiencing things or you're reacting in certain ways and you have no idea why that is. Chances are it's linked to certain patterns, certain belief systems within your unconscious mind, which is actually linked to your nervous system. So with quantum flow, the more and more you do these practices, the more and more you work on releasing those blockages that have been recorded, because what they do is that they actually form crystals within your nervous system. So with the movements that I will be teaching you with the one-on-one sessions, the more you do it, the more you're breaking down those crystals, those holes they have over you. And the more you're breaking down those crystals, the more you're releasing energy, right? Which now can be used to tap into higher states of well-being in your physical, in your emotional, in your mental, in your spiritual well-being. So with quantum flow, it's really about first of all, bringing awareness to what those limiting belief patterns are. And even if you're not aware of what those patterns are that are constantly creating you, the fears, the experiences that you're having right now, it does not matter. Anytime you do a quantum flow practice, you're breaking down an old story, an old memory. And the more and more you do it, I kid you not, you wake up 3 months from now, you're going to be a completely different being. It doesn't even have to take 3 months. Try this process out for a week, which is a course that I do offer, not a week. I offer a 5-week course with me where we get to go deep into whatever life experiences you're going through and breaking down those patterns within your body. Your healing should always incorporate your body. Most people only focus on healing what is here and not working on what is also in your body. So with quantum flow, what it does is that it actually accelerates your healing process because it incorporates different layers of your being from your physical, right? So you're going to be rewiring you at a physical level, at a mental, at an emotional, at a spiritual level, at an energetic level, and all this. It's working in different areas, not just one. And that's why it actually is a beautiful modality that helps you accelerate your healing journey. Okay. So quantum flow is for you if you are struggling, first of all, with constant mental fog or difficulty concentrating, leading to low productivity in your work or whatever it is that you do on a day-to-day basis. If you're struggling with chronic anxiety and stress and you're feeling overwhelmed and just emotions are just taking over you, quantum flow can really help with that. Remember, I told you in this video that there is a possibility of you actually in maintaining an inner state of peace and bliss and calmness, regardless of what's happening all around you. And quantum flow has been the greatest tool for me in that, like becoming unfuckable, if I may say so. Okay. If you're feeling physically and emotionally drained and unable to relax or achieve inner peace, if you're experiencing chronic pain or physical tension that prevents full body healing and vitality, difficulty controlling emotions leading to mood swings, frustrations, or anger, if you're constantly having all this kind of emotional reactions to the people around you, circumstances all around you, quantum flow can really, really help you break down those patterns that lead to that. If you're feeling disconnected from your higher purpose, remember that as long as you're constantly experiencing this negative state of vibration, the anger, the disappointment, and all of that, what they do is that they create blockages even from tapping into your higher guidance, your intuition. So even connecting with whatever you came to here to experience here as a soul having a human experience, you won't be able to have that clear path of connection as long as you're having these blockages within you. So the more and more you break down these blockages, the more it's now allowing that light, allowing those messages to now channel through you. So it will actually help you connect to your higher purpose and intuition the more and more you break down these patterns, okay? Again, if you're struggling with unresolved trauma from childhood that are still stuck within your nervous system, quantum flow can really help with that. If you're feeling like you're limited by your beliefs, negative self-acceptance, and just blocking your personal growth, quantum flow can really, really help with that. And also, the more and more you break that down, the more and more you have energy to focus on what you want to manifest. So, if you're having difficulty with your manifestations and all of that, the more you break down those patterns with quantum flow, the easier it will be for you to manifest what you truly, truly yearn for. Okay. So, based on these two modalities, I do invite you to go deeper with me. If you have more questions with me, I invite you to connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. You can message me, or you can go ahead and book a discovery call with me. You can scan the QR code here, or you can check out the link in the description box of this video down below and book a discovery call with me. And then we can determine which one of these modalities will be a great fit to help you with whatever experience you're going through, or rather, even just combining the two of them. Because if you truly, truly want to achieve the greatest spiritual mastery, I cannot emphasize how these two modalities have been a game changer in my life. So I hope I will get to connect with you on the other side. Thank you so much for watching me and watching this video. Make sure you let me know your thoughts down below in the description box or in the comment section, sorry. And I hope I will see you on the next video. So wishing you an amazing week of growth, of transformation, of evolution. And I look forward to hearing from you how you have grown in this last week. Thank you so much and love and blessings.